Good morning. We're gonna do a little food prep, meal prep with breakfast. I forgot to grab my scale because we've got to weigh beans. Because we're going to get some chickpeas. Got dried chickpeas, also sometimes called garbanzo beans. So this is a 1 pound bag. So I'm going to put 8 ounces in 2 jars. It's more. So this was 8.4 and that's 8. Apparently one's 8.4 and the other is 8.3. So we'll call it good. But you can see that the jar is 2/3-ish full, which is great because we're going to finish filling the jar the rest of the way with agua. So we can let our chickpeas soak. Because we love hummus around here. I like making my own hummus because then we can make the flavors that we like. Because my husband's favorite flavor is curry, and curry is not available in the grocery store. Okay, so these will go to hydrate. I will set them over there, come back to that tomorrow. We picked up several more things last night, so. I have my onions. But because it's soup season, good morning, sunshine. So glad you could join me. We have been, hold on, I have words. I'm going to put them all in the right order and it's going to be great. So, it is soup season. Last year, at the end of winter, beginning of spring, I happened upon a pressure canner that was on clearance in an off-brand store. Hello, Michael. So glad that you're here. Well, I've already made a vegetable barley. I made a chili, and what I actually think I'm going to try next is making a shrimp bisque for because it's delicious, but I want to see how well it does when we can it. So far, I've done 3 soups. I did a butternut squash soup, I did the barley, and I did the chili, and all of those canned up really nicely, which means that we have some great grab and go options. Now, if the shrimp bisque goes over well in cans, that's going to be fantastic. So Michael says he likes alphabet soup, which is awesome. I made gnocchi probably 15 years ago, and I haven't made gnocchi since then. But I know how to make it, and it is very possible that I may try that in the near future, now that I have a canner so that I can can my own soups. It makes it really fun, because when we would make soups before, let me grab a cutting board and a knife and get to work on some of these things. Where did my knife go? Need to put away dishes later. Barley veggie soup is really yummy. No, it's not that it was that bad, but for several years I was doing other things, and I didn't have time to spend in my kitchen. So I trained as a chef really in high school and college. I worked for a little bit. Life and kids happened, and I ended up getting another job in retail because the hours were a little bit better when I was raising my kids. And health insurance was better when I was raising my kids. And those things were really important. So working retail, didn't have time to spend a lot of time in the kitchen, but my kids are self-sufficient human beings, mostly self-sufficient human beings, capable of being self-sufficient human beings. So now I have time to spend more time in the kitchen. I just don't have anything ready. But I finished my workout this morning and came right to the kitchen, so I am not the most organized, but you really when you're meal prepping, the more you put into the planning part of it, the quicker everything else goes. And that's really what I wanted to, because I always have something that I want to share, tips, things that I want to talk about, because when you plan, when you prepare, when you set yourself up for what you're going to do, it really goes so much better. So I've just started streaming live on YouTube, but I've been streaming live on Facebook for almost a year now. And when I have everything prepped, and Barbara's over on Facebook, she'll know this, it really takes me very little time to get a savory hot breakfast put together, because I will have all of my veggies already chopped up. So all I have to do is heat up my pan and add my my ingredients, and then I'm good to go. And you can see I already have my onions chopped up and ready, but I'm chopping a little bit extra. I ran out because I used my pre-chopped veggies this last weekend to make the vegetable barley soup. And it was great because that made that go so much faster. So I am this morning going to be chopping up a little bit extra so that I can have the pre-chopped veggies, because I'm going to be making some more soups and meals and events, and I like having my savory breakfasts. So it takes a little bit of extra time at the beginning to plan these things out, what it is that you're going to make, making sure that you have the ingredients on hand for your recipes, and getting everything chopped up and ready to go. But if you spend 5-10 minutes planning, then when it comes down to time to get things done, everything goes so much easier, so much faster. You're not having to wonder and worry. And honestly, like, having those ready to go soups sitting on my shelves right over there, where we can just go, what is it that you feel like having? Because I cook for my husband and I. And one of those quart-sized jars is enough soup for both of us for a lovely meal. And so I can use my big stock pot. I can make enough soup for 8 or 9 meals. I aim for 8 meals because I can fit 7 jars in my canner. So that means that we can can 7 meals for later and have 1 that day fresh for dinner. And I'm getting different varieties built up. So now we can go over and we can be like, what do you feel like having? And then we have a couple of choices. So every time I make soup now, I am making enough for now and for later. And then those jars that I was putting the chickpeas in, like, when that's all of the dishes that you really have, and then the bowls that you eat out of, and you heat it up, and it's like all of the convenience of what you get from the grocery store, but you have much better control over the ingredients that go in, and because it's in a glass jar, you don't have to worry about heavy metals leaching into your food, which is absolutely a thing that happens with cans. Hey, Mike. Hi, Luke. Oh, Chris. Hey, so many people joining over from Facebook. So glad to have you guys here. I was chopping and rambling on. So with the soup, It kind of depends on what it is that we're having. Sometimes we will have crackers. Sometimes we'll do a bread to dip it in. I personally, and Joey says I'm weird. I'm okay with being weird. But like I was talking about the chili that I made, I like crunching up corn tortilla chips and having corn tortilla chips with my chili. And I made the mistake of calling it a Frito pie when he was with me, and he was like, "Those are not Fritos. You cannot call it a Frito pie." He was very upset. So it's chili and corn chips. I need to find a cute name for it or something else so that I can, make fun of him. A lot of the cans have started adding in plastic liners. And I have other objections to that just because it messes with recycling when they line the cans. And so, there's a lot of things that go into it. You've got to worry about the heavy metal leaching. You've got to, or at least I do. I worry about heavy metal leaching. I worry about recycling and the amount of trash that I am contributing into this world. And I try and minimize that whenever it is possible for me. And then the other thing is really the quality of the ingredients and what's going into it, how much sodium, whether or not they're adding things like MSG, and really where it's coming from. I don't know what a dritty pie is. You'll have to explain that one, Chris. I'm interested. I just don't know what it is. So I'm going to wash my mushrooms here in just a second. But I've been rambling on for a while, so I want to wrap up my thoughts, and then I'm going to finish my meal prep, which is just chopping up my mushrooms, getting ready for the next soup. Which, by the way, the chili went over really well. So I now have kidney beans, black beans, pinto beans. Oh, these are red beans, not black beans, because these are black beans. To make another batch of chili, because we made 5 jars of chili and we're down to 1. It's gone quickly. So let me wrap up my thoughts and get stuff ready. The next thing that I'm chopping extra veggies for is the chili, which we're experimenting this time. We're going to add tofu for the chili. For those of you who don't know, I've got autonomic neuropathy, which is a side effect, a comorbidity of diabetes. And so I could no longer, much to my dismay, have chicken, pork, or beef. So, alternatives there are. But we're gonna make the chili next. So I'm doing extra peppers, mushrooms, and then the beans for the chili. Still really delicious. You don't even miss not having the meat in there. And then, yeah. So let me wrap up thoughts. A little bit of planning, knowing what you are getting ready to do, getting things set up to bulk prepare, to either preserve, freeze, whatever it is, allows you to eat healthier, and you can save time, and you can save money, and all it requires is for you not to let convenience be the king. Because more than anything else, it's that convenience that leads us to eating highly processed foods that are not healthy for us. And if we can put a little forethought into it, get ourselves set up so that the healthy choice is the easy choice, life gets so much better. So my challenge for you, and I would love it if you guys would put it in the comments, like, how much time do you spend thinking ahead of time about what you're going to eat and how you're going to plan your meals? And do you think it's going to be more or less in the future? So, I love you all. Thank you so much for stopping in. So glad to have all of you over on Facebook here with me this morning. And come back tomorrow. We'll do some more stuff, talk about some new things, and see if we can live a more vibrant lifestyle.